Once upon a time, there lived a little girl named Sophia. She lived in a land far, far away from the city. All her life, she dreamed of going into the city to go to college. Sophia's mom died when she was young. Her dad, Eric, remarried when she was about 16 years old. Her new stepmother, Layla, and her two daughters, Edith and Alexia, moved in with them in their small house. Sophia didn't know that Edith practiced being a witch. Edith did all kinds of spells at her old house. When her mother got married, she told Edith that she was not allowed to do spells anymore, since the house was small, it required two girls to share a room. Since Sophia was the oldest of the three, she got a room to herself. Edith and Alexia were very upset. Sophia's dad was a professor at Yale. Growing up, she always had a dream of going to Yale. On her days off from school, she would go with her dad into work. She loved the campus and everything about it. All the professors and workers, and even the campus president, knew her name. They all knew how much she wanted to go to that college. When her dad was sick, she made him a promise to get into Yale and make a better person for herself and for him. Since she is almost done with school, she applied to Yale and to a couple other colleges. About 3 weeks later, a letter showed up while she was at school. Her stepmother got the mail that day and saw the letter. Being nosy, she opened it and was shocked by the fact Sophia got in. Sophia was excited because her guidance counselor called her into her office and told her that she was going to be receiving a good news letter this afternoon. As soon as she got home, she rummaged through the mail looking for the letter, but was disappointed when she couldn't find it. She went into the kitchen and saw the letter on the table in front of her stepmom. She grabbed the letter from her stepmom, but her stepmom snatched it back. Sophia got angry and pushed her stepmother down, which was very easy because her stepmother was not a stable person. Sophia finally got the letter, ran upstairs to her room, and locked herself in her room. Once her stepmom got up, she went up to Sophia's room and banged on the door. Sophia ignored her. She opened the big envelope, and it was indeed a good letter. She got into Yale. Everything was starting to fall into place, finally. She finished her last year of school. She graduated top of her class. She got a job working with kids over the summer, just to have a little extra cash, even though she didn't need any because her dad left his whole fortune to her since she was his only child. The summer was coming to an end, and it was almost August. Almost time for her to move into her dorm. She was excited to start this new life. She wouldn't have to live in the same house as her ugly stepmom and evil stepsisters. The time had come. Move-in day. She couldn't be happier. The move was long. Since she lived far from the city, which was where Yale was, her dad had already had a guy named Jacob set up to come help Sophia move in. Jacob was about the same age as Sophia. His dad was also a professor at Yale. Sophia and Jacob's dad were very close friends. That is why her dad had already knew that Jacob was going to help her move in. They packed everything and began the journey. They reached Yale just in time. Sophia got everything settled into her room and then went out to explore what the campus was offering that day. Since she had been there so many times, she knew her way around. She went to all the booths they had set up just to see what they had. She made a lot of new friends that day. Once she got back to her room, she was surprised to see her roommate wasn't there yet. She went and found her RA and asked what was going on and why the other girl wasn't there yet. Her RA had told her that there had been a last-minute room change and her roommate would be there in the morning. Sophia didn't mind having the room to herself that night. She was used to sleeping alone. The next morning, she was surprised she was in for a surprise. When Sophia woke up, she was shocked to see her new roommate sitting on a bed across from her. It was her evil stepsister, Edith. She didn't know how long Edith had been there, but she didn't like it. Classes started soon, and Sophia was excited to wear the necklace her dad had bought her just before he passed. She noticed the necklace had been moved a bit, but thought it was just because of the drive, so she didn't worry about it. What she didn't know was that Edith had found the necklace the night before and put a curse on it to make her say mean things when someone said a certain word, which was "Hello, Sophia." All throughout the day, everybody would say hello to her, and she would say very mean things to them. After a couple of days, Jacob found her and realized something was wrong. He knew that Sophia was not like this and wanted to figure out what was going on. After questioning people on her floor, he figured out what it was. Edith had cursed the necklace. He knew what he had to do. Later that day, he saw Sofia and told her everything. That night, once Edith went to sleep, Sofia found her spellbook, but she didn't understand the language, so she couldn't reverse the spell. The next day, Sofia brought the book to Jacob, and he helped her figure out the spell and reverse the curse on the necklace. Before they did that, Jacob had videoed her with the necklace and the spellbook that had Edith's name on it. Once they reversed the curse, Sofia went to everyone and apologized, then went to the president and showed him a video of everything that had happened. He was not surprised at all because he knew Edith. He personally went to their dorm room and kicked Edith out himself. Sofia and Jacob asked the president if they could share a room, even though they knew it wasn't allowed. The president said no, but he did let Jacob move in right next door. Jacob had his own room and Sofia had her own room. The next 4 years, Jacob and Sofia conquered every obstacle that Yale threw at them. They eventually fell in love and lived happily ever after.